What up, guys, and welcome back to Thomas Reacts here on the 360 Experience with myself, Thomas Mabaso. It looks like the ANC will continue to destroy itself as the ANC Youth League President Collen Malatji and the ANC National Chairperson Gwede Mantashe continue to fight over this 50% youth representation policy. You know that ANC Youth League want 50% of youth representation in Parliament and in all our government structures. The ANC Youth League is saying, guys, we've had enough. We are sick and tired of these adults who will go to the National Assembly only for them to sleep on national television. Man, the African National Congress members of Parliament are shameless. These guys, they can sleep on Parliament. They sleep live on national television, man. We've seen these guys countless times, and the ANC Youth League is saying, man, you guys must go home so that you can play with your grandchildren. And these guys are saying, no, we are not going anyway. This is why I said that Gwede Mantashe is saying that the ANC will not listen to this whole policy of 50% youth representation. He's speaking on behalf of the ANC because no one from the ANC has came out and disputed anything that Gwede Mantashe is saying. The ANC Youth League says we want 50% representation. The ANC National Chair comes out and says that it is not going to happen. So I believe that the ANC National Chair is speaking on behalf of the African National Congress as a whole. I think there in Luthuli House, this whole idea of young people taking over, it does not sound well. It does not sit well with those cadres there at Luthuli House. The fact that they might have to step aside and allow young people with possibly bright minds to take care of the African National Congress and actually take care of South Africa, man. They cannot fathom the thought of stepping aside for young people. So it looks like we're going to have a big fight between the African National Congress Youth League and the ANC there in Luthuli House. I know that right now the ANC Youth League is saying that this is not a fight, this is how ANC conducts its stuff. But guys, we are going to 2024 elections, and before these guys come and knock on our doors, they need to have something tangible in their hands, because the ANC Youth League are, at the end of the day, these guys are the ones who are going to have to make sure that the ANC gets the vote in our townships. They're going to have to make sure that the door-to-door campaigns are happening under the ANC. And these guys, if they don't have anything in their hands, how will the average South Africans listen to these guys when they don't have anything in their hands to prove that the ANC is working for young people? It is going to be interesting to see how it is going to fold out. So guys, over the weekend, the ANC convened a NEC meeting, and before the meeting started, the ANC Youth League President Collen Malatji spoke with the ENCN, especially about what we are talking about right now, this whole policy of 50% youth representation.
Speaking of the 50% split that you want as the youth, whether it be in the provincial legislature as well as in the national government, but he seems to suggest that you first need to win the universities as the ANC Youth League. Will you be presenting some of what?
And guys, how many universities has the ANC lost, or the SASCO lost, man? I know that they've lost quite a few, but how many in numbers? Are you even surprised right now that the EFF is appealing to young people? EFF is appealing to young people because right now young people are starving under the ANC government. So it would make no sense for young people to join SASCO or to join the ANC Youth League. That's why young people right now are gravitating towards the EFF, because the EFF are pushing the same policies that the ANC is running with. But the EFF is saying, guys, we can implement these policies that the ANC has failed to implement in 30 years.
But you want to be represented by the youth inside this NEC meeting, and what can we expect from the Youth League to be presented in the NEC meeting?
The NEC is pro-youth. It is agreed that the majority of young people must be in all characters of power. And
But guys, you say the ANC is pro-youth, but the ANC National Chair comes out and says, man, this 50% youth representation thing that you're talking about, it is not going to happen. You know it is not going to happen. Gwede Mantashe said that. You know exactly it is not going to happen. But you go on a national television and you say that the ANC is pro-youth. How? When the national chair told you, right in front of everybody, man. You know that the ANC was doing the manifesto review there in the Eastern Cape. Gwede Mantashe did not say this behind the corridors, or he did not say this. No. He said this in front of everybody. He told the people there in the Eastern Cape that the ANC will not adopt this whole nonsense of 50% youth representation. But you come out on the national platform to say that the ANC is pro-youth. How? How? When the people there in Luthuli House are saying no. How is the ANC pro-youth?
To be represented by the youth inside this NEC meeting, and what can we expect from the Youth League to be presented in the NEC meeting?
The ANC is pro-youth. It is agreed that the majority of young people must be in all corridors of power. And one of those corridors is parliament, legislature, councils, executives of boards, board members. We're not only focusing on parliament. It's a broad aspect in all business opportunities of the country. The young people must be there. And I think the National Chair agrees that now is the time for the youth. The mood of the...
He doesn't agree. He told you that he doesn't agree. He doesn't agree. The National Chair told you that he doesn't agree. What do you mean? That the National Chair agrees that like the ANC is pro-youth or whatever that you're talking about. The National Chair told you straight up. I'm trying to find that video where the National Chair was speaking about this whole thing of 50% youth representation when he said that it is not going to happen. He told you. So right now, the ANC will have to make a decision. It's either they are pro-young people or they are not. It can't be both. It can't be that the ANC Youth League goes around saying that the ANC is pro-youth and the ANC National Chair comes out and says that the ANC will never adopt this policy of 50% youth representation. It has to be one. It can't be both. It can't.
A youth league. All campuses. Zonke campus sithathwa EFF ikhona. Now kandithetha nabo mna ndithi kubo nizawuziluza ii-campuses because nifocus kwinto ezingafunwi nina.
You heard that? He told you that the ANC Youth League will continue to lose the campuses because you are focusing on things that do not concern you. You are focusing on government positions. These things have nothing to do with you. You are losing the campuses. So how can you say that the National Chair agrees? He does not agree. He does not agree.
Executives of boards, board members, we're not only focusing on parliament. It's a broad aspect in all business opportunities of the country. The young people must be there, and I think the National Chair agrees that now is the time for the youth. The mood of the country is the mood of young people.
But the National Chair says first win the universities, which you seem to be getting, sort of a red bloody nose there.
Look, the youth does not contest SRC elections. We support SASCO. We've been struggling due to many other issues, including NEFSAS, and there are many issues that have affected students. And SRC elections, we don't win them in December or November.
What?
We've been struggling due to many other issues, including NEFSAS, and there are many issues that have affected students. And SRC elections, we don't win them in December or November. We win them in January, where everyone needs assistance, where students need to be registered, need to access funding, and all of these issues affect them, accommodation. Now, SASCO in January was faced with structural issues, the parallel, many internal problems. Now, we're saying that now that we're fixing the structural issues of SASCO, we'll improve our election results. It's not for the first time anyway, where SASCO loses elections this year. When they improve their work, the other year they win the elections everywhere else. It's not a new thing. Students always support organizations that address their matters.
And in this particular ADC meeting, what will you be putting forward as a youth group that you want advanced by the party?
Look, the strengthening of state-owned entities for the purpose of a governmental state. We'll be pushing the issue of high level of unemployment of youth. That there must be clear set-aside programs that addresses that high level of unemployment. Crime is a big thing in South Africa. We need to address it urgently. The issue of illegal foreigners in South Africa is a big matter. You can't ignore it anymore. Our big and small towns are hijacked by illegal foreigners. If you don't manage that, we're going to become a lawless country.
If you don't manage that, you're going to become a lawless country. Man, you don't manage that. You don't have the borders right now in South Africa. And listening to Collen Malatji, man, you would swear that this guy is a member of an opposition party. He's talking about all of these problems as if these problems did not occur under the ANC government. You would swear that this guy is a member of an opposition party. All of these problems that he's talking about were caused by the ANC. And now, I guess people must wait for the ANC until the ANC resolves itself so that they can attend to these matters. That's what these people are saying. Man, I've said it before, that I think the best way for the ANC to learn their lesson is to lose the election so that they can go aside and recover and actually decide what kind of a party do they want. They need to lose the elections, man. There's no way around. They need to lose the elections. Right now, you hear him. He says that we're going to win the elections on January. When students have problems, you know that they are politicizing the problems of the students so that the students can vote for them. This is what he's saying. We don't care about the problems of the young people in this country. We don't care about the problems of young people in our campuses. We want to politicize those problems so that they can vote for us.
Now, those are issues that we'll be addressing here. And I think that everyone agrees that if you don't address this issue on an urgent basis, this country will go to talks.
And the suggestion from former President Thabo Mbeki is that the urgent matter that needs to be addressed by the party is actually renewing itself, the issue of renewal, which he mentioned just 2 days ago, that the party has failed to do so since 2017. You've come in December, well, recently as a youth league president. Is this renewal being driven, or are you agreeing with the former president?
Look, it's happening. Maybe it's not happening at the fast rate as the expectation of the former president of the ANC.
He says that the renewal within the ANC is happening. Is there any evidence of this? Is there any evidence that the ANC right now is in a process of renewal? Is there any evidence of that? Is there any evidence of of what he's saying right now? Because he says that the ANC is in a renewal process. It's just that it's not happening as fast as people anticipated. Man, people gave Ramaphosa 5 years to turn things around. And Ramaphosa said that to Mamina. Ramaphosa said, send me to Mamina. And the whole of South Africa was fired up. They sent him. 4 years later, Ramaphosa is still telling us that we are still strengthening the NPA. That's what he's talking about right now, 4 years later. The same guy, when he was elected as the president of the country, one of the first things he spoke about is the NPA. He spoke about the unemployment. They said that Ramaphosa is a business guy. The corporates love him. I remember people saying that Ramaphosa, the corporates love him. There will be more jobs in South Africa under Ramaphosa's presidency. But you look right now, it's a mess what's happening right now in our country. Everything is broken, man. Everything is broken. So, is there any evidence of this renewal of the ANC that they are talking about? I've never seen any evidence of this ANC renewal. The only thing that I've seen is it's ministers being rotated around there in the ANC. You know, if a minister does bad as a minister of sport, they're going to take you from sport and now they're going to make you a minister of social development, and the social development they're going to make a minister of health, and so on and so on. There's no evidence of this renewal. This is the reason why Thabo Mbeki is so frustrated with the ANC. Thabo Mbeki is so mad at the ANC right now. Every time he gets the chance, he talks about this thing, and he says that the ANC failing to renew itself, it is the one reason that is going to cause the party to die. The party is going to die because it refuses to renew itself. But how can the party renew itself when it's so embedded in so much corruption? All of those guys are all of you guys there in the ANC, all of you. You are compromised, all of you. This is why I say maybe the best thing that could happen to the ANC is the ANC to lose power, so that they can maybe just to go aside, so that they can decide what they want. Because running the country is not what they want. It's not what they want. The ANC National Chair is telling you guys that you see those members of parliament that are sleeping on national television, you deserve that. Those are your members of parliament. Imagine, man, this guy this person is a 60-year-old. Not 60, man. I think 60 is still young. In the ANC, when you are 60, you are still young. This person is a 75-year-old minister of social development. and representations have been made there in parliament, and this person is sleeping. Is sleeping. And Gwede Mantashe says that it will never happen, man. This whole thing of 50% youth representation, it will never happen. And I'm saying that the problems that Collen Malatji is talking about right now, all of these problems were caused by the ANC because we didn't have these problems before. All of them. So he says that we need to treat this in an Asian matter. I mean, how can you treat this in an Asian matter? It's an election in 8 months, I think. South Africa will be in an election in 8 months. How are you going to address unemployment in 8 months? How are you going to address infrastructure in 8 months? How are you going to address illegal immigration in 8 months? What is it are you going to do besides coming to tell the people that this is what we have worked, this is what we agree on as the ANC? But in terms of actually implementing something, you will never implement something in 8 months. You will never create jobs in 8 months. I'm telling you right now. In 2024, you will never. Guys, we can bet right now. Let's bet. These guys will never implement jobs in 8 months. They will never. Hi.
Out of concern and interest as a former president of the Senate president of the ANC would want to see the ANC succeed. But if you can check in the ANC today, there's no one who's charged of crimes who steal the structures of the ANC. And those are issues that we spoke about as a renewal project. The other thing that we must resolve now is our quality of membership, which we are busy with. Because we've identified that is one of the problems that our...
The thing is that the ANC thinks people are stupid, man. These guys, they're talking about we have a problem within the African National Congress where we have these members that have been implicated in corruption and nothing has been done. They always say that, but they don't do anything about it. So clearly they think people are stupid. Because most of these cadres that they are talking about are still occupying these positions.
Quality of membership is very low. We need to intensify political education. We have appointed the former Premier of Gauteng, former Chair of Gauteng, Comrade David Makura as Head of Political Education. Now, those are part of the programs of assisting the renewal process.
I want you to, maybe in your own words, critique.
Man, this journalist is doing a bad job, man. He's doing a bad job. The only thing that the journalist should have asked for is evidence, man. It's evidence. Where is the evidence? Stop telling us that this is what we are discussing. This is what we are talking about. Give us an evidence. What is it exactly that you have done to convince the people that the ANC is going through the renewal process? Thabo Mbeki is not stupid. Thabo Mbeki will not go out there in public to bash the ANC for failing to renew itself, and you come out to say that the ANC is renewing itself. It's either we believe you or we believe Thabo Mbeki, man. And I think people know that we will rather believe Thabo Mbeki 10 times before we believe you. This journalist is doing a bad job, man. He's doing a bad job, I'm telling you. Where's the evidence?
The current state of governance within South Africa. You just came in as a Youth League president. I'm sure you're seeing time and again the water woes that are plaguing Gauteng and the rest of the country. You're seeing the load shedding woes that are plaguing South Africa in its entirety. Issues of high unemployment, especially among the youth, the highest levels that we've ever seen before. Is the party doing enough for its people?
Look, that is on top of the agenda. As the Youth League, we're calling ministers every day to our office to give them solutions on how to resolve some of these problems. The days of complaining are gone. We are here to resolve problems. We can critique every day as much as we want, but if you don't have solutions to resolve all these problems, there's a problem. Now we're acting on it. Where there is no service delivery, we're making sure that we everyone to online to work and deliver services. Issue of any security is on top of our agenda every day. We want the issue to be resolved. Now we have plans in place, and those are part of things that are engaged here today.
This guy says that they are calling the ministers every day to give them the solutions, man. They are calling these 60s, 70 and 80-year-old ministers to give them the solutions on how to resolve the South Africans' problems, man. Guys, I don't know, man. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? Please tell me what you think in the comment section. Don't forget to hit that like button. And the most important part, subscribe. My name is Thomas Mabaso, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.